Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome back to Tekpon. Today our guest is Keith, the CRO of PandaDoc. Hello.
Hey Christian, thanks for having me.
Very excited to have you here. Please tell us, what is PandaDoc?
Yeah, so when you get a document in your email, like a contract or a sales proposal, and it's really ugly, and you kind of don't know what you're looking at or you don't know how to compare it. We solve that problem for businesses. We help them create beautiful proposals and contracts that really stand out from their competition, which allows them to save a ton of time and to close more deals, get more agreements signed. And so that's what we're really doing. We're solving customer pain around time spent in manual documentation processes when they send those documents out to third parties. And as a result, they save a ton of time, win more deals, and are very happy to have less frustration with their PDF uploads, emailing documents back and forth, downloading, reattaching, and so forth.
Can you share with us some key use cases of PandaDoc?
Yeah, so our bread and butter is proposals and agreements. So proposals are sort of your classic sales proposal that goes out the door, whether it be a quote or a general proposal to get a business agreement in place. And contracts are typical contracts that you might send for procurement or any agreement between another party. And all of these have e-signatures built in. And so we really help streamline that creation of the document all the way to the signature and consummation of the agreement.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What are your most loved features?
Yeah, I would say one of the top features we have is the ability to set up templates inside the proposals or documents that just save you a ton of time. So odds are that you're not creating a bespoke agreement every single time you send one out. And so we allow the creation of these templates, which then saves you a ton of time. And it gets better because we allow you to integrate them with your CRM or other systems so you can pipe information, which reduces the amount of errors you have and really helps you get out the door even faster. I think the other killer feature we have is analytics. We allow you to see who's looking at the document, how many times they've viewed it, how long they've spent on each page. And so you can know that someone has opened your agreement or spent a lot of time looking through it. And that's really helpful on the sales side of things because you can sort of understand how likely your deals are to close from there. So those are two really key areas. I would also say less of a feature, but more of a company priority is service. We take a lot of pride in giving our customers great service. And, when you're dealing with documents, there can be lots of headaches. And so that service plus the automation of workflow is where I think we really stand out.
And can you expand more on the integrations part? I'd love to hear most used integration. Obviously CRM, but yeah.
Yeah, so CRM for sure. And then we also do quite a bit of integration with Zapier to make sure that any custom workflows you want are, top of mind as you're using this tool for anything you have related to agreement. So we have lots of Slack integrations that are built through Zapier, and that's very popular for our company.
How do you differentiate in this competitive market? There are a lot of solutions out there.
Yeah, so I mentioned it a little bit, but I think service is one of the things where we really differentiate. We take a ton of pride in that. Our customers are really happy with our service. And that's everything from getting you onboarded so that you are able to get up to speed and use the tool fast and get a return on your investment, to making sure that if you ever have a problem, we've got someone there for you to help you and hold your hand. Beyond that, we offer workflow consultations that really help understand what is unique about your business. And our team that has worked with over 50,000 customers has a ton of experience dissecting ways that we can improve how you do things and get value out of this tool so that you're spending less time on documents, spending less time pulling out your hair of frustration from having to make PDFs and signatures work. And the team is really good at that. So that's one big differentiator. The analytics I mentioned is a big differentiator. And I think the branding is a big one. So like I said in my intro of what is PandaDoc, you get so many ugly quotes and contracts. And if you're a small business or even a large business that's invested a ton of money in your brand, you want that brand to stand out. We really help you do that.
You explained it perfectly. And how is the customer journey at PandaDoc? Can you explain?
Yeah, so customer journey, I think, is often overlooked by companies. They have a product, they want to sell that product, and a lot of times they'll just put that product in front of you at every opportunity.
Yeah.
This year at PandaDoc, we've spent a ton of time really understanding how customers discover us, how they learn about our product, how they try it, how they purchase it, how they adopt that product, and then hopefully renew and expand with us. And so we broke down the customer journey into various stages. We broke it down very much based on the customer intent, whether they came to us for proposals, they came for contracts, they came for e-signature, they're looking to get away from, a competitor who's not giving them as much service. And we've tried to really understand how those customers think about what they're trying to accomplish, the jobs to be done, and how we can get them to that value as quickly as possible through PandaDoc.
What would you say is the biggest takeaway that you got doing this research?
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway is that customers come to PandaDoc with intention. They come with something they're trying to do, and that's very different based on the size of the customer, the use case, the industry that they come with, and we really want to make them get to value as quickly as possible. What we are trying to do is make sure we're not shipping the PandaDoc org chart. We don't want you to think, oh, I have to go speak with a CSM for this problem or an account executive for this problem. We want to make sure that it's absolutely seamless and that you have this great experience from the moment you hit our website to the moment you go into a trial experience, that your experience in the trial is carried forth to your conversations with PandaDoc employees, and that we really put the customer at the center of everything we do. And so that's become a really big focus for the entire company and our exec team in particular, making sure we're relentlessly focused on understanding those different paths and getting customers into the proper journey.
It makes sense. It makes a ton of sense. Yeah. But how do you actually do that? What's your best piece of advice for a company that's looking to implement that?
Yeah, so I mean, the best piece of advice is to continue to put the customer first. Think about the customer first. And I really believe this, and I believe that our leadership team thinks this too, that if you center on the customer, you're going to get to better outcomes. And those outcomes will drive long-term value creation for your company and for the customer. But to get really practical on how we did it, we broke the customer journey into 3 phases. Okay. We started with the systems that support our customer journey and making sure those systems are architected in a way that we can get the best information to the customers as fast as possible. It's everything from, is the website loading quickly, to does information about the customer's path into the journey carry forward into their discussions with PandaDoc employees. And so you have to make sure that the systems provide sort of this base layer of information. That's the first piece. The second piece is integrated campaigns, where we thought about how do customers discover PandaDoc. Usually they do it through, a search or coming in through an ad, maybe a word of mouth referral. And we want to make sure that that campaign stitches across. So if you come in on a proposal keyword, you should see proposal content throughout your journey. You're not there for contracts. You're there for proposals. So when you start the trial experience, you should be seeing proposal content. When you go talk to a sales rep, you should be talking about proposals, not contracts. And so those integrated campaigns are becoming more and more how we run the company in terms of analyzing performance and thinking about the pathway. And then the last piece is customer friction. Where do we see friction in the journey? When you're on the website, do you understand things? Does the pathway that you go into the trial make sense? Does the pathway that you go into a demo make sense? How do we continually remove friction from the process? And we don't just carry that through from the ads and the web, we carry that into the product. Are we getting customers into value quickly from their adoption, whether it's the adoption in a trial or the adoption on the paid customer side? And so we've divided things into those 3 parts, and we're constantly running sprints on each of those to improve the system support that we give, those campaigns, and the customer journey friction removal.
Thank you for sharing this. It's fantastic value. Yeah, I really appreciate it. When does the company start? Can you tell us the story?
Yeah, so our founders, Mikita and Sergey, they founded PandaDoc several years ago, and they really did it with the intention of solving the pain that I talked about, the pain that people feel when there's process and wasted time on documents they have done an amazing job of crafting this product that really helps people get to value faster and spend less time on the parts of business that don't matter. And so it's really about efficiency. And so I love that because I care about efficiency in everything my team does and what I do. And so I love that they started it with that in mind and that we've continued to evolve PandaDoc to solve new and different kinds of ways of driving efficiencies into the business.
Yeah, that's a great story. So I love efficiency too. So it's great when somebody starts to solve the problem. Yeah. And when did you join the company?
Yeah, so I've only been here for 5 months. But that mission that I just talked about, the why behind why the company was created, was so important to me in finding a place to be. And then the other parts that were really important to me were finding just a great culture, and a great group of people who are pursuing that mission and putting the customers first. Those were all things that I was looking forward to. And so finding that special mix of customer centricity, the power of document augmentation, and solving workflow problems with great people is exactly what I wanted. So that's why I joined, and I've been loving every minute of it.
I'm super happy for you. How big is the overall team right now at PandaDoc?
Yeah, we're over 800 employees, and we just passed 50,000 customers, paying customers. So it's a huge milestone for us, and it shows that customers find value in what we provide. And the 800, we call them pandas, our employees, are all focused on driving that value and helping these 50,000 customers spend time doing what they really care about, which is helping their customers. I don't think anybody really cares about uploading documents or spending time on document workflow. People spend their time solving customer problems and running their business, and that's what we want you to get back to doing. And so our whole team is there to support that mission.
That's a great mission. What do you actually do as the CRO in your day-to-day job?
Yeah, so I run the sales team, the customer success team, the marketing team, and the partnerships team. And it's just an incredible group of pandas who are all here to help make sure our customers get to success. And we do that in different ways. We help customers find our solution from marketing or through partnerships. We help them get to value through the sales team and sign that initial contract. And then the customer success team helps them continue to find value. And so my job is to help optimize that process, remove roadblocks, and help chart the strategic narrative, a big portion of which is this customer journey focus and putting the customer first. So I love it. I'm incredibly blessed to have an amazing team that does all the hard work. And so I'm really the lucky one that helps, chart the course.
I think you're doing a great job, but you're humble. But yeah, that's great to hear. What do you think was your biggest challenge in these 5 months?
Yeah, I think, we started, or when I started, we really were focused a little bit more on what was right for PandaDoc and not what was right for our customers. And we've done a hard pivot over the last, they started it before I got here, but over the last 3 quarters, there's been this real focus of putting the customer first in everything we do. And that's meant revamping how we sell, how we market, how we drive our customer success teams and get people to value. It's changed the way we measure success, but I think it's leading to better outcomes for our customers, and that's leading to better outcomes for PandaDoc as well.
Yeah, I know there's a big debate if the CMO should report to the CRO or something like that. What's your take on that? Because you said you manage all 3 departments, right? Sales, customer success, and marketing.
I think it makes a ton of sense because you can really align the objectives between the marketing and the revenue functions. I've worked at companies where sometimes marketing is really focused on just driving a number of leads rather than making sure those leads progress through the pipeline and go all the way to close. And it really allows us at PandaDoc to make sure that we're not arguing back and forth, but to concentrate on shared outcomes. So I'm a very big fan of that, and I think it's working really well.
What has been your most successful growth tactic for gaining new people? You just crossed 50,000.
Yeah, so we have quite a bit. I mean, SEO has worked really well for us. We have an amazing demand generation team that's doing a fantastic job with our ads. Partnerships is an incubation initiative for us, so it's a little bit newer, but it's showing increased transaction. And like a lot of SaaS companies, we do a good job of expanding. So that's less new paying customers, but it's more seats per customer. As customers come in and they see the value of PandaDoc and they're like, wow, I'm saving so much time. I need to have a different department use this. And companies get better and better results from doing that. So I'm just really proud of all the teams that have leaned in here to acquire the customers, to get them to value, and then to expand their presence with us over time.
Fantastic. What is your vision for the future with PandaDoc?
Yeah, I mean, so like I said, we just crossed 50,000. I think our next milestone is to get to 100,000. We know that there are companies out there that don't give their customers in proposals, quotes, contracts, agreements, the level of support that those customers need. And we think we have a fantastic solution that grows across sales, marketing, customer success, partnerships, HR, and finance. And so we're looking to add new customers that will help get value with us. And my goal is just to continue to drive that acquisition of new customers and then the expansion of those customers' presence with us. And then I would say making sure we have fun at PandaDoc while we do it. One of our core values is fun. And so I want to make sure that the team is still enjoying what they do and serving customers in the best way possible with empathy, and that impact goes across both the customers and PandaDoc.
No, I agree with you that you have a great culture. Yeah. Yeah. And I love to hear your story, how you started your career.
Oh my God. Yeah, I started out of college. I went into marketing at a financial services firm, and I learned a tremendous amount. It was for a company called Charles Schwab. It's a broker. And they were always sort of at the leading edge of technology adoption in financial services and very customer centric. And I think those were things that carried forward with me as I went through my career. But after 5 years there, I thought I needed to understand business from sort of a higher level perspective. And that caused me to go after an MBA and get that. And post MBA, I was really lucky to end up at Google, where I spent 10 years. I joined in 2006 or 2007, which was a pretty formative time for Google. They had definitely achieved escape velocity, but they hadn't gotten too big. I think the company was around 16,000 people when I joined. So it was still small enough that we knew a lot of people. I had significant exposure to a lot of interesting projects because I worked on the strategy team. And what was so interesting about that was that the core philosophy of thinking big, user centricity, challenging assumptions, using technology to solve problems really stuck with me and shaped who I am as a business person and a leader. And so the 10 years I spent there absolutely made me the person I am today in a lot of ways. And so I'm really thankful for that opportunity. But after that, I went on into other things, and it's just been an amazing adventure. I think, as you go through your career, establishing the principles that you care about, and you can probably tell what mine are, which is customer first and caring about my teams and driving impact. Those are the things that I think are important to get as you go through your career, and I feel really fortunate to have gotten to where I am with those.
Awesome. What's your best piece of advice for somebody that's just starting out their career?
Yeah, so my best piece of advice is for people to focus on having grit and putting their customers first. You let your customers be your guide on what you need to do. And having grit is how you serve them. It's that you shouldn't let obstacles stand in the way. You have to really chase down and do what's right. And the people who do that, I think, are the ones who are most successful.
Thank you for sharing. What's one mistake that you see other CROs making? Or something that they can improve?
Well, so I'm a pretty new CRO, so I'm not sure that I'm ready to give advice on what others are doing wrong. But I do think sometimes executives at companies put the business before the customer. And I'm a really big believer in win-win situations. And I think if you put the customer first, you're going to find ways to drive advantage for both the customers and the business instead of just the business. And so that's really, as you heard me say today, a lot of what we concentrate on at PandaDoc.
I love your mentality, so it's great that you repeat it so many times. I'll have it as a reminder, and the audience can remember that you need to focus on the customer to build something, right?
Well, it's interesting because you're like, why does a business exist? A business exists because you want to make money, but it has a purpose.
Yeah.
And at the center of that purpose has to be your customers. So I really do believe that. And that's why I put that purpose first. And I believe if we do that purpose right, it will generate returns for the business. And I think your employees are happier when they're in pursuit of a purpose, not just, a career is more than just a paycheck. So having that purpose plus a rewarding set of jobs to do in the company really leads to happy employees.
Exactly. You explained it great. What else can I say? I have only one question left. What's your favorite software apart from PandaDoc?
Yeah, I think Slack is probably my answer. It's probably a very popular choice. I'll see if I can come up with a less popular one as a second one. But Slack, we do everything in PandaDoc through Slack. It's just so great at being able to communicate in real time, show some emotion with the emojis, put in some GIFs for a little bit of fun. But you can accomplish so much because it's collaborative. So I absolutely love that. I think if I had to pick maybe a second little known piece of software, I use Bear for note taking. Mm-hmm. And I really like how it works. It's just, I've had trouble making note taking software stick at any company. And this is the first one that I've liked. Because of the search, the ability to have it sync across devices, and just love how it works with the tags.
Is there anything else that you want to tell us today on the podcast?
No, I appreciate you having me on, and look forward to getting more customers in and sharing more of our customer journey success stories, which we are spending more time talking about on our LinkedIn channel. So if you're not following us, please do.
Thank you so much for being here. You did great.
Thank you.